we ready? Or not? Let me see. Hello, good evening. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another stream of Plane Shift. Just a second, because I have some Amazon stuff open that maybe has my address or anything like that. Yeah, here I am. Hello, hello. I'm here. So we are working on this cart functionality, which I think will be fun to see in game. I think we'll give also a bit of a visual freshness, right? Because you can see some carts running around. I think it's always cool to see. I still have to test it in multiplayer, so I don't know if we have to do something more for multiplayer or not. But what I managed to do, I managed to port the example that we did outside of Plane Shift inside Plane Shift. But obviously things are working a bit differently, because in the sample project we were in a single kind of listen server scenario, right? So it's basically the client that is also acting as the server, while in our setup, right, we have a dedicated server which is separate from the client, and you really need to manage the multiplayer properly, right? So, and that is what I was working on, right? Trying to really port it in a way that it works like it should. Plus, we have additional complexity because we have different character sides, so the height of the cart is not exactly the one, you know, that we have in the demo level. So there are some differences, and at the moment I'm trying to see if we can reduce the rotation rate, because the rotation rate seems to be super fast in Plane Shift. I think it's probably due to how the character rotates, or anyway, I didn't fully understand why, but this value, pretty much this value, is different in our game than in the sample level. And also we don't use word rotation, but we just use movement input on another vector, right? And it seems to work okay on the right vector instead of the forward vector. So it seems actually to work fine, but I'm still testing a few things and seeing if it works and how it works. Yeah. I was thinking about the inventory and how we can manage the inventory, but I think it should be fairly easy, because if we make the cart like I did, a container, right, it can already contain stuff. The only difference is that when we are adding or removing items, we have to check if it's a transport, and if it's a transport, we have this visual thing that, you know, is showing the boxes on top of the cart, right? So yeah, the objective is to basically have the cart work properly in terms of movement and in terms of inventory. At the moment, we still have the movement. There is also another problem, yes, that the cart, for whatever reason, when it's on the ground, is positioned this way, right? And this is not very nice. But I don't know if I have an easier way. But now you see, when I right click on the cart, I mean, I can move it up if you want, just just to make it look better. But yeah, so that is the cart, right? If I right click, I have this new icon. At the moment is the one for the mount, but we can maybe create a new one, right? But yeah, maybe let me list it in the things to do. Create new. So if I attach, right, if I click here and I attach, at the moment the cart is, and I don't know if we want it this way, maybe you can tell me if we want it this way. The cart is basically teleporting to me, right? So whatever is my position. We may force, we may force the cart to actually, the player to actually be closer to the cart to do the attachment, but at the moment is doing this. Now, yeah, the rotation is still super fast. The rotation is still super fast. Okay. Oh wow. What happened? When you go backward. When you go backward. Why this happens, I have no idea. If I go forward, it's like this. But if I go backward, I'm pressing S. Why this happens? I'm pressing S and it seems that my character is... this is not good, huh? This is not good. Why backward is putting a rotation? This is definitely not good. This is definitely not good. Let me try to go. At the moment we are at 5. Let me go, I don't know, 0.2. I just want to understand if we can really reach a point where the forward rotation is correct or not. I don't understand why when I go back it's doing that, right? When I go back, because it's basically the backward movement, right? The backward movement. Backward movement action. Backward movement. Backward movement action. Value get magnitude. It's exactly the same. It's just it's calling the same thing. It's just putting a negative value. Yeah, but then why it doesn't work? Why it goes forward but it doesn't go backward? because it's doing nothing else than adding a movement input, right? Hello, Hula. Hello, hello. Good evening. Okay. Yeah, the rotation we can. Okay, now it's too little, right? I really exaggerated on the. I really exaggerated, but when I go backwards, so now I'm pressing S. You see what happens? So it looks like the. I mean, why the character? I think it's because he's trying to do the same. Yeah, he's trying to do the same that I do when I think I have to change the rotation mode. Because it's the same. Yeah, it's the same when I because I have the orientation mode. Should I change it? The problem is that if I change it to the controller. How was it in the old? How was it in the sample project? In the sample project, we had orient rotation to movement false. My feeling is that this is true actually. I think we need to disable orient rotation to movement on character movement. Orient rotation to movement. Otherwise we don't do it. So we were at what? We were at 5. But I think it will change completely if I change that. Okay, let me try it out because like this is not working. Like this is not working. So orient rotation to movement, which hopefully is fully replicated. I really hope so. Yeah, you see that there is actually, in movement mode. We need these two false. I think we need these two false. And then we can put them through again, but oops. Okay, let me try like this. Hello, Nonsensius. Hey, welcome. I'm somewhat out of the loop. Has the Real Engine update already been done in PlaneShift, or are we still on the PlaneShift engine? Oh wow! It seems you are coming from the past. No, the game is fully on Unreal now. Since how much? I don't know, 1 year, 2 years? 1 year and a half probably, yeah. Yeah, it's fully on Unreal, so the game is running completely on Unreal. And it's working well, I would say. He also gave us a lot of new problems, but also a lot of new solutions. The most complex part was really to redo pretty much the client completely, because all the UI, right, obviously was not, it was not possible to use the one that we had in the old client. So, and the old client, after all those years, you know, was very, very customizable. You know, you could have like UI skins, and you had a lot of options, really a lot of options. Now I'm putting those back slowly but surely, and but I'm also trying to do other stuff. Like now, for example, I'm working on this cart and wagon functionality, which I think would be fun to see in game. And yeah. Parabam pam pam param pam. Parabam pam pam. Okay, we just this one we just recompiled, right, with this new oriented rotate. Now I think this will change a lot of things, how the character moves when he's attached. So we have to be sure that is what we want. So probably now we will not rotate as expected anymore. Let's see. I think we will have to add the rotation like we were doing before, because there are two ways to put there are two ways to move the character, right? So with the character oriented to the movement, basically to the velocity vector, so you push him in a certain direction and the character is automatically rotating in that direction. Or the other way, which is that you rotate it manually based on whatever is the input from the left and right, right? And they actually work differently. So we tested the second one and now we are testing the first one. You should do a re-download and see how my character are doing. Yeah, your character should be there. I don't know how old. I mean, when is the last time you connected? But all the characters should be there, unless it's very, 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 very old. Before Molecular Blue, right? But I don't think so. I think that it should not be that old. Uh-oh, we lost the card. Why we lost the card? Oh no, the card is there. Okay, now... What? It's exactly the same. It is very strange. It's exactly the same. Probably because now we have to use... wait, I think I know why. We have to use the other. I mean, assuming that this did what he should do, right? Did I do it I didn't do false. That's why. Okay, that was a bit. Yeah, that's why it was looking exactly the same. Because I didn't change this from false to true. Also been lagging in last about 2 years ago. Yeah, so absolutely your character is definitely there. Let me know if you can load in, but I think that you should be able to load in without any problems. In the last 2 years we did quite some stuff, so we upgraded the dungeon generation. We added a new city, well, a small, not a very big city, but anyway, kind of a city for the Diaboli. We upgraded a lot of the textures, so the game should look a bit less old. I mean, it still looks old, obviously, because the models are what they are, but we upgraded some of the characters. We added visual equipment. We did a lot of stuff the last 2 years, so you will see a lot of new things, hopefully. And also I fixed a lot of stuff. We have a new functionality also, which is the city manager, that will be important in the future. Okay. Why is doing this? Okay. Let me try the other way. Here we may have a bit of a problem, because if this is not working as expected, so it feels that client and server are not synchronized on this. I mean, is this thing replicated or not? This thing is not replicated. I have the feeling that let me print out what was it, 35. Let me print out the orientation mode. I want to see if it's the same between client and server. My feeling that it is not, because when he's stuttering like that, it means that the two are not in sync. A lot of updates, you're saying, the last 2 years. I have some additional skills be added? No, skills. Well, we changed the way drawings work, so you can now upload a drawing directly instead of drawing yourself. We fixed music, because music was not working in the previous versions, but no, new skills, no. But we have definitely a bigger map, yes, a lot of new stuff. You're moving data, yeah. Are you on Windows or Linux or Mac? We need more people on Mac to test the game and give me feedback on what is working, what is not working. We have very few people on Mac, and it's always a struggle. Oh. I cannot see it. Yeah, but it's saying true. Oh, this one is not printing. So it looks like orientation mode is not updated for whatever freaking reason. It's not replicated. I don't know why. That's very annoying. That's very annoying. I don't understand why this is not replicated. It's so stupid. I mean, what is the point? I mean, why? It's really not replicated. I mean, the client says true when we set it to false, so. Yeah, it's not replicated. Why is it not replicated? It's so stupid. I think this thing is set by ALS by default, right? You see that here in the ALS initialization, there's on movement mode change, right? Is in ALS base character, which by the way, I think we don't even use, because the ALS base character is the one that we don't use. No, wait, there are two components of this, and one we don't. ALS character, ALS base. No, we use base character, we don't use character. Okay. So this is actually used. On movement mode changed. No one is calling this? How it is possible? On movement mode changed. It's not blueprint callable, right? So it's not called by blueprints, I guess. But we added this one for swimming, so for sure it is called. Just don't know who is calling it. Movement mode changed. I don't understand why I don't see this anywhere, right, in the code. So it seems that this is not called directly. Set movement model. Because it's called by Unreal. It's called by Unreal, so it's inside the character movement, the base character movement component. So yeah, this on movement model changed. Made new villages. Yes, some more content exploration. You can check the logs, updates, mini game, voice, new sound system. Yeah, it's an override, means it's called by base class. Yes, true. Yeah, in fact, it's inside character movement component, so it's actually called by this. So when we change the, so basically when we call set movement mode, right, is calling that function, and the orientation is only changing that. My problem is that this thing seems not to be replicated, and it's so weird. New movement mode. Is movement mode replicated at least, or not? Not even this is replicated. How is it possible? So the movement mode is not replicated. So it's basically changed the client and so. But if I have, because what I need to do, I need the client to change the controller rotation, right? Otherwise we will still get into this stupid way. One is stuttering, and two, when I go back it does this, right? So it's not in the right mode. It's not in the right mode. Now, how can we do it in a way that is compatible with our current way of existing? In theory, there is a key on ALS, right? Which is the one where you change the aim. The aim. There is an aim rotation. Aiming rotation, right? Or aim. There is a aiming rotation mode or something like that. Get control rotation. Get control rotation. Set required value for rotation with controller angle needed for mounts to follow the player camera. Get control rotation. Get control rotation. Yeah, but this is not the rotation mode. That is the wait a second. Set rotation mode. Exactly, set rotation mode. Set rotation mode is ALS rotation mode. They can be velocity, looking, or I think I just need to call this actually. Velocity, looking, or aiming, right? I think it's set rotation mode on the base character. Velocity direction, looking direction. But I don't understand. Did it change on the client? And then is also called server side. Yeah, it's basically doing the same, but it's calling it client. Yeah, it's calling it client and server side. But it starts from the client. The change of rotation mode here is starting from the client, right? I mean, actually, I have a way to do it because, yeah, we receive a message, right? That we basically started the transport, which is this one, which is this message, right? Is when we remove them. Yeah, we can do it here maybe. Here we are on the client, 100%. And so, okay, let's try to do it here. So this is when I attach and this is when I detach, right? So the problem here is that I am in the player controller. But it's fine, we can get PS character. We can get PS character and we can get the character movement component. No? Yes. And in the character movement we can set the orientation. Set orientation to movement to false. And when I detach, I will set it back to true, right? Okay, let me try like this and see what happens. Because I would like to avoid creating a new way to replicate this thing. So maybe it's enough. By the way, hello Moon Traveler. Hey, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate people chatting and making themselves, you know, visible. Okay. It looks the same, but... Ah, wait. Now it's... Ah, okay. Yeah, now he's oriented with the camera. So wherever I look with the camera, it is actually oriented like that. Fuck. The problem is that ALS, you know, ALS is governing our movement. Let me set also the... Let me also set this to false and see if it actually helps or not. My fear is that the underlying ALS system is taking over, right? And while it was working perfectly in our example, here is not working because whatever I do in terms of settings, still ALS is taking over. That is my... I never fully understood. I never fully understand where ALS ends and where you know, the standard character component begins. I think maybe for this thing we have to study it a bit and really understand it, because I don't exist, you're from another dimension. Well, you type in this dimension, so there is at least an extension of you in this dimension, I would say. I've been speeding coding Unreal Engine, and the last time I touched the code is 7 years ago. I tried some coding really quickly with micro plugin mod. I would like to see... last time I think I couldn't be doing some Python coding. Python is very nice. I like programming because you can create stuff with no specific resources. You don't need hardware. You don't need, you know, money. You don't need. You can just create stuff out of nowhere, which is super nice. Okay, now it's not connected to the camera anymore, but it's definitely stuttering, like, and we have the same problem. No, I basically need to disconnect, right, the ALS controls when this happens, because I don't know if it's really possible though, because we have our own character movement component, right? And also one thing that is very strange, you see this printout, that is the server and this is the client, right? And for whatever reason, yeah, the one with the yellow is the client. And for whatever reason, when I move forward, I get on the server these values, and on the client, I get -246. Yeah, it seems that I'm getting the same value, but then I'm not getting the second printout, which is very strange. How it is possible? So it seems I'm getting one printout, but not this printout. Because this does not happen on the server, huh? This happens only on the client. This happens only on the client. This happens only on the client. So the client is adding a certain rotation and the server doesn't have it. And so this is why the result is that my character looks like he's stuttering, right? But we definitely have a problem here. We definitely have a problem here. let me try this other. Because if you do add movement input, this is actually replicated client and server. I mean, this is really going server side, it works as expected. If you do add world rotation on the client, I think it doesn't work server side, right? So I think you have to go server and do it on the server. If you want a rotation to be replicated, you have to do it on the server, I guess, right? We can ask ChatGPT, but I think this is what it is. Yeah, exactly. You have to do it on the server and then it goes to the client. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, is how I was thinking. So we cannot do, so it was working in our example, yeah, because we have the example, right? We developed this in a stupid third person character example, right? And in this example, it was working properly. Backward and forward, you see, it was actually working as expected. And but the reason this works is because we used the actor rotation, and at the moment the server and the client are exactly the same because we are running like with a listen server or such, right? And so, but still the forward and the backward works, right? Which is what I don't understand why it doesn't work in my game. Because I think that ALS is getting through. I think ALS is getting in the way. Fuck it. That is a bit annoying, guys. It's a bit annoying. We need basically a mode where the game works like if there is no ALS. ALS is our locomotion system, by the way. Yeah, so with this mode is not stuttering, right? With this mode is not stuttering. And I can rotate. Now I rotate very slowly, but I rotate very slowly because it's just a matter of this value, right? We can increase this value and it will rotate more. So this is not a big deal. It is not a problem. But we have a problem going backward. Why we have a problem going backward? We have a problem going backward because it's the same that happens with my character, right? When I'm not attached, you see when I press S, the S key, my character rotates 180 degrees, right? And this happens because the character rotation is based on the velocity, right? The character rotation is based on the velocity. Character rotation is based on the velocity. So it seems that when I am attached, right, it does the same. So if I try to go back, yeah, you see that it's like rotating. Now in this case, it's not even, but I think it's the same effect, right? It's the same effect. And we need to disable that. We really need to disable that. We really need to disable that. But I don't know where that happens, right? Where is that happening? Where is that happening? I think he's in the tick. I have the feeling that he's in the tick of our base character, where we are updating all the rotations and all that stuff. Can you stay here or not? Like this one, right? Update grounded rotation. Update ground, I think is this thing, guys. Is this thing. Update grounded rotation. Because this one is checking if we are in velocity or we are in looking. I think we need another mode. We need another mode. If I add another mode, aiming. Actually, there is already aiming. I mean, in theory, I can go in aiming mode if I press the middle mouse button, no? Wait, let me detach 1 second. Yeah, you see that if I'm pressing the middle mouse, and so basically the character is always looking where the mouse is looking. But if I do it here, it doesn't work. When I'm connected here, it doesn't work. Why? Because I disabled it in the movement context, in the mapping context. Because here I only have WASD, and I don't have my aiming mode. Yeah, which is this aim action, exactly. Which is my aim action. I mean, we just for fun, we can try it 1 second and see. I mean, I can add it. It's not a problem. Middle mouse button. I can copy 1-to-1. So with this, I will be able to aim, to go in aim mode, but I don't think this is solving it though, because I think that what this is doing, it will look where the camera is looking. But I think that the code is this piece. The code is this, update grounded rotation. If I comment it out, we can also try to comment it out, so it's doing nothing, and it's just following my rotation. If movement action equal to none, or if it's rolling. Yeah, I think it's this thing. It's this thing that is every tick is overriding the rotation. So we have to disable. Okay, let's do one test anyway, just because, and then we will work on that. I think if we disable it, we will be able to move on the cart as we want. I think. Okay. Now there is another problem, as you can see, that the cart object is not updating its position based on the movement that we do with it, right? So, and that's another problem, but we will think about it another day. So if I press the mouse button, yeah, exactly. You see that now is following my mouse. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? So that the rotation of the character is managed by that piece of code, right? And in the end, we want it different. We want it different. Now, how different we want it? You see that if I'm just pressing the middle mouse now, right? And so it's moving like that based on the yeah. While what we would like to do, and if I do this, yeah, exactly. If I do this, I can go backward without any problem, right? If I press the middle mouse and okay. Okay. So the problem is this. I mean, one way would be, right? One way would be to set a variable on our character and or to set a different movement mode, right? To create a different movement mode, which is cart. Rotation mode. Rotation mode is moving, is movement input, speed is greater than 150. And it doesn't have root motion. Can update moving rotation. Calculate ground rotation rate. Yeah, I think we have to go into another mode, into another rotation mode, because otherwise this thing is going to override whatever we do. It's going to override whatever we do. Movement action equal to none. Movement, other actions are ignored. Can we set the movement action to something that is and by the way, I don't even know what happens if I try to crouch. What is the best way, guys? What is the best way to do this? My tiger head is stuck, okay. Wow, it's stuck very, very bad. What is doing? It's super stuck. Okay, now it's good. So, or we add a new action that is not part of this, and we set it. The problem is that then we need to understand how the hell do we set this action, right? Set movement action, for example, right? Set movement action. But also this one, I don't know if it should be done on the client, on the server. It's always a mystery. It's always a mystery. It's always a mystery. This one doesn't look like it's replicated, so it's probably set on the server only. Because if we create a new movement action, that code will not run, right? That code will not run. And so it will not adjust the rotation automatically, right? It will not. You know what we can do just for a second, just because we don't care. If we, yeah, but then I will not be able to rotate anymore. No, because I was thinking I can just comment out that line, the update ground rotation, and GG's, but I think it may not work because then I will not be able to rotate and reach the cart. Well, I can slide, but it is not a very easy problem, unfortunately. It is not a very easy problem because there is ALS in the middle, and ALS is a bit of a beast. I mean, it's a nice system, but it's very complex. Okay, we are close enough to the cart, so actually, if because I just have to right click and mount, right, after I enter again into the game, so I think it should be fine. We have these printouts. I think I can skip this one because this one is just how much the wheels are rotating, right? And we don't really care. The wheels are rotating properly, so that's not our problem at the moment. Okay, let me do this. Let me try to update the. Let me try to remove this. Update ground and rotation. Okay. Let me remove this, which obviously we cannot remove, right? But it's just to understand if it's 100% this function that is actually not allowing us to go backward properly. We remove the cart. No, we want the cart. We want the cart. We want wagons. We want special carts. We want carts with boxes on top. We want a lot of things. So yeah, we want a cart like this, right? With all the boxes. With all the boxes. And we want also the boxes to appear when you put more stuff on the cart. Which is very nice. I think that part is easy to do, actually. Well, easy. Yeah, I think it's kind of easy. I think this part is harder because we have to manage this library that is not made by us, and so we don't know it very well, and it's kind of complex and it's hard to do changes to it. Can you fly? Yeah, if you are a game master, you can fly. But you have to be a game master. There is no spell for flying. But yeah, I can fly. I can fly. because it's easier to move around, you know. As a game master, you can also teleport and create items, and I mean, there are a lot more functions for a game master. Oops. It's not up yet. Okay, so in theory now we cannot rotate anymore, or because we removed that line, right? So I want to see. No, the cart is not here. Fuck. No, we can rotate. Why? So we completely removed this line, and everything works normally. That's a bit weird, huh? Ah, the aim is not working. Yeah, there are certain things that are not. Okay, yeah. It works for the aim. It's an interesting thing, though. Okay. So it seems that that line, it works only in certain modes, but let me see what happens now. Yeah, you see that I can go backward? So yes, it is that line. It is exactly that line. It is updating the rotation based on, okay. Okay. It is exactly that line. But why now if I go left and right it doesn't do anything? If I go left and right it doesn't do anything. That's strange, huh? If I go left and right, it doesn't do anything. Working a big project is a pain, yeah. Our project is very big now. I mean, we have like probably 700 blueprints and 200,000 lines of code. So yeah. And for sure it's not getting smaller. So it seems that this is doing nothing, which is very strange though. This is doing nothing. It's because this value is too small? I don't think so. I think it's not a problem of how big this value is. I think it's just that it's not. I mean, we can look at it and see if it's doing something, but no, it's going perfectly straight. I think it's going perfectly straight. Well, at least that's my feeling. Not sure if it's true, but anyway, I can make that value very big so we see if it's doing something. Accessed none, wait a second. Accessed none trying to read property driver. Accessed none trying to read property driver. Why saying this? Because we use driver when we use driver here, right? Yeah, we use driver here. Only when it's ready to move. That's strange. That is very, very strange. Okay, now I put like a super large value, so we will see if, yeah, but it's anyway that line, right? So it's the movement mode that is resetting the rotation at every tick. And when we are on the cart, we don't want that. While when we are not on the cart, we want it, right? So we need a switch. So or we change action, like we said, that is skipping that, or we create another rotation mode that maybe is called free rotation or something like that, or custom rotation, right? So we could put it here in the rotation modes, and then we can put it in this rotation mode, right? We can have velocity direction, looking direction, or custom rotation. In custom rotation, we'll basically skip all of this. We can say if custom rotation, just skip everything. So basically don't do this, right? Don't do anything here. And we can try to set that, and so at least we will be able to go back and forward, backward and forward. But I don't know why at the moment we cannot rotate with the input. Yeah, it's not working. It's not. So the movement, yeah, I think it's because the move. Okay, I think I understand why. Because if we just give a velocity and we don't have rotation aligned to velocity, then it doesn't rotate, right? Now, if we make rotation aligned to velocity back like it was before, then it will rotate, and we can make it as small as we want, but we will not be able to go backward. So okay, so in theory then okay, so I don't know why it's doing this. We have to check why it's doing that. So what we are saying is that this is okay. You just have to be a significantly smaller value, but we need to disable this, because this was not the problem, right? This was not the problem. The problem was that line in the code. But now I have to do it also here, because now we understand better how it works, right? Now we understand better. So So we still want to move, we still want to rotate with the velocity, or not? No, we want free movement. We want, I mean, free rotation. Okay, let me do it like this. And see if without that line, everything works as expected. If now everything works as expected, it's just a matter of adding a rotation mode. And then we are good. You need a new mode or whatever to handle the value for you. Yeah, I think I need a new mode because otherwise this ALS is overriding my everything, my rotation all the time. But yeah, we can create a new rotation mode, then we just have to understand how to set it on both places, but I mean server and client. The only problem of testing inside a game is that, as you can see, every time I start it, it takes quite some time, right? So I'm losing like 1 minute at every run. So if I do, 20 runs, it's 20 minutes just waiting that it starts up. This is why you should do stuff outside of your project as much as you can. So prototyping should be done all outside in a third-person character project, blank project, and then like I did, and then you bring it in, right? Yeah, the problem is that when you bring it in, you start to get these problems. But at least we did, hundreds of iterations just by pressing play in the editor. So we managed to prototype very, very fast. And now we are just struggling because we need to put things in, but we also have to resolve the movement of the card somehow, but okay, can I go backward? Holy shit. Why? What the fuck? I mean, it seems that now I can go forward and rotate properly, right? You see that it is working fine going forward with the right rotation and right kind of speed, and but backward is really a mess. Why? If I'm not rotating, it's like if he's assuming like a random rotation. I don't know. Huh? What the fuck? Huh? Why is doing this? I don't understand what he's doing. Because forward and backward are pretty much the same thing, right? It's just add input movement to my character, right? Without any without any special tricks or anything. So, what the fuck? You need to level up your character back properly, skill issue. Maybe. It looks like there is still some compensation coming from ALS. I think there is something that is happening here, and it is again ALS. Even if I completely disabled. So we are moving velocity. I mean, we are rotating velocity, right? So if I go forward, obviously my character is already rotated in the right way. And so it looks natural. If I go backward, and this guy is trying to rotate my character backward, then that happens, right? If he's trying to rotate my character backward, that happens. But I don't understand why it doesn't fully happen, but it's just vibrating like this, probably because he's trying to rotate and then he rotates again. I mean, it should just go. So it means that there is still. Did I recompile this? Yeah, I think I recompiled, right? I recompiled this. So because now orientation, rotation to movement is definitely true. I'm pretty sure it's true, right? At the moment, this thing is true. Yeah, in fact, it's saying true. So the game is trying to, Unreal Engine is trying to orient my character based on the movement, while in theory we don't want that. But we saw that if I remove it, what was happening 2 minutes ago? What was happening with this? Fuck, don't remember. What was happening with this? What was happening with this? Was it working? Or not? The problem is that I have to do it on the client as well, because that thing is not replicated, right? What was happening like 5 minutes ago before that change? I think I was able to go backward properly, but the rotation was not happening, right? Yeah, the rotation was not happening. I wonder if you could move this ALS to other project sample is a bad idea. It's complex because our ALS is anyway custom. So it's a library, yes, but it's a library we modified. So, I mean, in theory, it's not a bad idea, but I think if we can solve it without moving ALS to the sample project is better, because it will anyway take quite some time to recreate an example with an ALS character, and yeah, it will take few hours anyway, so Yeah, but let's say if we are really desperate, we may try that as well. And to because you have, you know, you spend maybe 2 hours to do it, but then you can just click play and try any possible combination. The problem is that in the demo project we are not using dedicated server setup, and it is really different, right? If you are using a dedicated server, it's really different. So if I reconnect this, right? I reconnect this and I save it. I think with this I was not able to rotate left and right. I was not, I was not able to rotate left and right because I was basically sliding, right? So I think what will happen now is that I will kind of slide and will not rotate. So the only way would be to set the rotation server side. The problem of the rotation server side is that this is happening. This is happening on the tick. No, wait, but it's not this. It's this, right? Yeah. This is happening when I press my... Why there is no add movement rotation or something? Yeah, but now I will slide, right? And my character will not turn left or right. There should be a simple solution to this though, because I think that this is a typical problem. I mean, it's not that... I mean, the fact that I have the cart attached doesn't make any difference. It's just the way my character moves, right? It's just the way the character moves. The fact that I have the cart is just because I go in the other mode, but yeah, now I cannot go left and right, but the back works okay. The reason is that, I mean, I don't know why add movement input is not providing the proper rotation. So can I can move forward and backward properly by having the orientation movement mode to false. But now I cannot rotate left or right. If I add movement input on the vector, on the right vector, if I use add movement input when the character is turning, using the get right and get actor right vector, the character doesn't move, doesn't rotate. And the reason it doesn't rotate is because, yeah, the orientation, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm responsible for the rotation. Exactly. I mean, I know exactly what he's saying, and he's correct. Add controller jaw input. This is the one I needed. Add jaw input. Add controller jaw input. This is the one I needed then. Ah, so you can rotate. Ah, this is very nice. This is very nice. You can rotate like this from here. Okay. That's cool. This may be our solution, my boys. This may be our solution. So we disable the velocity rotation and we provide a rotation the way we want. Right? Okay, let's see. Let's see if we fixed it or not. Let's see if we fixed it. Let's see if we fixed it, my boys. By the way, if you want to have one of the small characters running around the screen, you have to be connected to Twitch, because that visual effect of the characters running around can be connected only to one system, and I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But that thingy is connected only to Twitch at the moment. Are you ready? Are you ready to see the success or the failure? Okay, let's go forward. Forward, easy. Let's go backward. Backward, easy. Let's go forward and left. Fuck. It's not going. Why? Huh? Huh? Add controller Joe input. Ah, because it's controller and this is not a controller. Add Joe input. Add controller Joe input. I mean, I can take the controller, but why is not... Add controller Joe input. Add controller Joe input. Add controller Joe input. I tried adding add controller Joe input to my player character in the player character, but it's not rotating. The documentation says that add controller Joe input is add input to the controller's rotation if it's a local player controller. What the fuck does it mean? Says it adds controller Joe input if It's a local player controller. Only rotates the controller, not the actor. The rotation is then applied to the pawn only if the controller actually owns the pawn and the pawn is set up to use the controller jaw. When you try, you also need to make sure your pawn is using controller rotation. Use controller rotation jaw. Actually, we disabled it. We disabled it. But if we enable it, it will move with the camera, which is not what we want. You see, this one is false, right? But if I put it to true, then the controller is my camera and it will follow the camera. Understand? So but if I set true, it will then follow the camera movement and not my input rotation. Exactly. Is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Hey bro, but add word rotation, I have to do it server side. Ah, Jesus. So I think I mean we are cycling back to the original problem, right? Because I started with add actor word rotation. If you see the example, right? This is the example. This is the separate project. You see here that I have add actor word rotation, right? I exactly have that, and I have that because I was in this setup, right? So now we are in the right setup, but this add actor word rotation unfortunately needs to be done server side and not client side, right? I am inside I am inside my turn action input. Right? Exactly. You have hit one of the most common pitfalls of Unreal networking. Bro, transform I know. Why there is not a get input, add input rotation? That is so bad. Jesus. Why I have to do all of this? Why there is not? Because before, you know, he said that there was also, instead of add controller jaw, you see, he said add controller jaw input, but he also said add jaw input without controller, if I remember right, no? I think he said that. I don't know when, but yeah. Add controller jaw input or controller no, it's always on controller. It's only on controller. Jesus. You know what is the annoying part is that I can do it, but the idea would be that this calculation, right? This calculation comes from the input value. Because it's this value, right? It's this action value, which is actually the Y exactly. So server set rotation mode, set desired rotation mode, set rotation mode, get aiming rotation, set actual rotation and target, set actor location and target rotation. That is very annoying. I mean, use versus, are those the same? Use controller rotation jaw and use controller desired rotation. Well, the jaw only is only doing one of the 3 axes, while the second one, I think, is doing all the 3 axes, I think. But we cannot link to the controller because for us, the controller is the camera, right? The controller is the camera. So we cannot use the controller rotation because otherwise you will not be able to look around, and we want you to be able to look around, which is the controller rotation, and we want the character to move by itself, right? To move by itself. I like that he's looking backward when he goes backward. That's very cool. Look at that. It's pretty nice. So basically the only way to do it, right, is to keep it exactly like we have it now. By the way, we need to have the car touch the ground, but that's another problem. The solution is to do it like we have it now, but in addition, right, in addition to have to send this input, right, to send this input server side. And it's super annoying. Super annoying. Because basically I need to have a server call, right, just for the rotation. And the annoyance part is that I have to do it in blueprints, right? Which is super slow. Well, it's not super slow, but anyway, it's slower than C++. So the point is, yeah, you see, it's creating a function, right? It's creating a function, and in that function is basically getting my rate, which is the value, and then is adding the actor world rotation based on that, right? I don't think we have another way. So I think we have to do it this way. It's kind of annoying that I mean, it's possible. I mean, is it possible that there is not already a function that does this in ALS? Add actor word rotation. If ABS mount curve is greater than 001, get local roll. Target rotation, sect actor rotation. He's using it only when we are not moving, but basically it is doing it. Yeah, it is doing it in... it is doing the same. By delta time. Fine. I mean, I'm kind of trying to say, I want to do it another way, but there is no other way. There is no other way. The only way is to do this. The only way is to do this. So to have a function in our PS character that is just rotating the guy, and is a server call, so we call it from the client to the server, and it should be on PS character, right? It should be on, yeah, I think it should be on PS character. There's no way. It should be on PS character. Do we have any rotation here already? No. Rotation. Receive add mount rotation. What is this? Receive add mount rotation. Receive add mount rotation. No, it's never used. I had the idea to do it, but then we didn't do it. But yeah, it was something like this, actually. It was actually something like that. It's kind of annoying though, but I don't think I have a better way. I'm thinking, but... And we still have to disable that line, because remember that now it works because we have that line disabled, right? And we didn't fix that yet. I feel the AI without your project context will not be as useful. No, it is. I think it is. Kind of, it is. I mean, it would be nice to give him our whole source code, and all our blueprints and have him say something. But no, he's giving us the right solution. He's giving us the right solution. This solution is correct. It's just annoying that we have to do it from blueprints, right? Instead of doing it directly in C++ from the beginning. But in theory here is saying, oh, you can have your turn character, right, bind to that, and then you do it this way. Well, in theory we have that because our yeah, in theory we have that. Now that I think about it, right? So we obviously have a left-right movement here because it's the one that is, yeah. There is actually the one we decided to remove. It's the one we decided to remove. Yeah, it is. But in theory, I could keep it. In theory, I could keep it. Right movement action, left movement action. Right? Right movement action, left movement action. So in theory, I mean, if we don't override the movement, the IMC, right? If we don't override the IMC, we can in theory use this, and we have our value. So we could basically do this in that function. Okay, let me try this. Yeah, but we need to know if we are with the cart or not with the cart, right? So we need to know that. So we need a variable. On PS cart. Yeah, and here we are not even in PS character. Here we are in ALS base character. So we are one class above. And we cannot get that variable. So it needs to be a movement, or it needs to be a rotation mode. It needs to be a rotation mode. Rotation mode. It needs to be a rotation mode. We need a new rotation mode. I think we need a new rotation mode. I think we need a new rotation mode. We need a new rotation mode that is called free rotation. Now the problem is because if we know that, right? If we set the free rotation only when how the hell do I set this? I think that we set it. Character rotation mode. Note, also edit related struct in ALS struct number if you add new enums. Camera state. Velocity, looking, aiming. Yeah, but this is for the camera. Because we are not changing the camera, we are changing movement state settings. Probably means this, right? Movement state settings. I don't know. I didn't want to change this, but velocity direction. There should be a set rotation mode, right? Yeah, here is again the... Come on, double click it. Set rotation mode. Set rotation mode. Server set rotation mode. Can we call it on the client? Yeah, we can call it on the client. We can call it on the client. We can call it on the client. So when we okay, so we can add a new rotation mode. I can set the where can I set the rotation mode? In theory, I can set the rotation mode when we are asking to attach to the cart, but when we ask to attach it to the cart, but this is going directly server side, unfortunately. No. Yeah, this is going server side directly. So here we have the opposite problem, that we need to be on the client and we, oh my god. Because here we are on the server already. I think if I set the rotation mode on the server only, it will not work. I mean, we can try. And by the way, I'm doing it wrong because it should be here, right? They should restore it to whatever it was, which is velocity. So this will switch to this new mode, which is free rotate. I don't know if it will happen on the client as well, because this seems to be server side only. Which is super bad. But anyway, we will see. Probably will not work if we don't push it. If we don't mirror it on the client, I think it will not work. But anyway, now that we have our free rotation, right? Now that we have our free rotation, I have to go back to my inputs, right? Like my right movement action implementation inside inside of this. and we have to say that if the rotation mode is equal to this, then we will do the add word rotate, the add actor word rotation, right? Where delta time, we have a problem with delta time. Because delta time, we don't have it here. We don't have delta time. We don't have delta time? Fuck, why we don't have delta time? Why we don't have delta time? Get world delta seconds. Can I use it? Can I use it here or not? No, I don't think so. I'm not completely sure of this, but anyway. Not completely convinced of that, but fine. So in theory now, when we do the right movement, we are in free rotation. We actually rotate using the actual word rotation, right? So we are forcing this, which is good. So now I have to basically dismantle this, because this is not going to be called anymore, right? So this is not going to be called anymore. So we will still use this. Okay, so if that is true, I just skip all of this. So I don't change my mapping context. I don't change my mapping context anymore. So we use just the standard input, but I need to exclude this rotation, right? I need to exclude this client side because it's not replicated. And so now we did a lot of changes. I think that this needs to be retested completely and probably will not work. But basically what I did, I'm trying to use the same forward, backward, left and right of the default ALS, with the only difference that now we have a free rotation mode, right? A free rotation mode. And that is basically when you are going left and right, instead of adding axis input, is using add-word rotation, right? The problem I see is that we do set rotation mode only on the server side. And so I think that if we don't replicate it properly, unless it's replicated. Is this replicated maybe? Ah, yes, it is. Ah, this is very nice. Okay, so if this is replicated, then we will have it on the client as well. Okay, this is very nice. Hopefully this function is doing what we need. No, it's not, because it's not setting the freaking mode. Why is not setting it? Okay, so probably will not work, but let's see what it does. Probably will not work, but I think it is the right way. I mean, after all the tests that we did, I think this is the right way. I think it is the only way, by the way. It looks like this one is a special drum roll. I think we are still a bit far, but I don't think it will work now, because I think that we are replicating only server side and not client side. The problem is that I'm finishing the time, boys. It's nearly midnight. It's nearly midnight. The good news is that I will be here tomorrow and the next day, so as you know, I had a bit of a real life stuff to do, but so I didn't stream for a few days, but tomorrow and the next day they should be easy. First thing we want to see is if we can move forward and backward properly. And I hope we can. Because forward and backward in theory didn't change. So forward and backward should be the same, hopefully. Yes. Okay. The fact that forward and backward works is already a good point, because it means that the disabling, and I can move the camera, right? Yeah, I can move the camera properly. So it means that we are in the mode where we are not following the velocity thingy, right? So we are without orientation on the controller. Now, if I try to rotate, if I try to rotate, no, but wait, yeah, because this is because I didn't do the check for movement. Okay, okay, okay. but it seems he's not. He's not. It seems he's not really doing the word rotation. Unfortunately. Why? We had this problem also in our sample project, right? We had the same issue, and the issue was that the rotation was not applied to my character, and it was not applied when I was going forward. But even if I go forward, he's not doing it, right? He's not rotating. But now we have that line commented out, right? We have the upgrade ground rotation commented out. So, which by the way, considering we have a new rotation mode, it should not be a problem, right? I think that if I re-enable this, I think it will work exactly like now, because this guy is actually checking the rotation mode, and he's actually doing stuff only if he's one of the known rotation modes. So we will basically exit here, right? And if we want, we can really, we can really do it more explicitly even, because we can say, oh, by the way, now we have everything enabled, so in theory I can roll. Camera completely fucked up, obviously. But yes, I think we will still have to. I think we will still have to change the IMC, because, for example, we don't want to roll. We don't want to jump. Yeah, exactly. See, here we can jump, right? And obviously, you cannot jump when you have a card. So I think it would still be a good idea to create a separate IMC, like I did, and only have backward, forward, left, and right. Now, I don't understand why the add word rotation is not added, but I think we can do this. I think we can calculate ground rotation rate. I don't think I want to do this. I think that I think we will do this. I think we will do if rotation mode is equal to our free rotation, we just return, right? So we do nothing. So with this change, I can just re-enable this line, right? I can re-enable this line, and this will work because we don't have the problem. Because we don't have the problem. I don't understand why. I don't understand why we don't go through this. That is very strange that we don't go through this. That is very strange that we don't go through this. But yeah, let me do two changes. I want to do two changes. The first change is that I want to go back to my custom IMC, because I think that the custom IMC allows us to, for example, disable the jump and disable the roll and disable a bunch of other, things. But I think we are on the right way. I think we are on the right path. It's just that for whatever reason, I mean, I really hope so, but I think we are. I think we are on the right path, but we need probably another hour or so. So this one will not be called anymore. But what I'm thinking is that this actually I need. So I prefer to have it because it's cleaner, right? It's cleaner. I have to, oops, okay. I have to do one thing more though if we do this, right? Because I have to go back to my so I will basically remove this, and I will add the forward, backward, right, and left. I mean, I have to add all these once. It's a bit annoying to replicate, but we will do it. We will do it. Because I have to copy all this, but it's fine. Doesn't take much. Paste. Then we need right movement. And then we need a left movement. Huh? Then we need a left movement. Left movement. Okay. So with this, it should work, but we disable jump, we disable roll, we disable the special moves, right? So like this is way cleaner. Is way cleaner, and now we only need to understand why the hell. And wait, we need to do the thing that this is applied. Yeah, but I don't even know if we are going through this. I think we are going through this. Okay, let me recompile and see. I need to understand if we are properly going through this code or not. I mean, free rotation should be set. I'm pretty sure of this. He's late. Unfortunately, he's late. Let's do this last test and see. I just want to see if that prints out or not. Because we should go through this, right? So now when we are on the... By the way, we can use this technique also for other things, right? It's like if in the future we will fly on top of a pterosaur, right? And we want to control the left-right rotation. we will use free rotation, right? We will use this new mode. So I think this is anyway good to have. It's good that we tested it, and I think we understood it right, hopefully. So now my character should move normally when it's not connected to the cart, right? So hopefully my character, yeah, my character moves normally, can roll, it can jump, right? But then when I attach to the cart, we use the other IMC. So if I press jump, yeah, it's doing nothing, right? Now I want to see if now I'm pushing left. Huh? Fuck, what happened? I didn't disable. Why? Huh? False, false. False, false. Huh? Set rotation mode. Huh? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand if the velocity. Huh? There is something broken here. I mean, we are not going through that code. We are not going through this for whatever reason. Why? Free rotation, why? No, there is something. It's definitely not working. I mean, he's not using this, right? It looks like he's using this. Like if rotation mode is not set, but we set rotation mode, right? We said that we set it, right? Set rotation mode. Yeah, we set rotation mode to free rotation. Yeah, the only problem is that I think we do it only on the server side. But at least the server, right? At least the server should then show that printout. I have to go, guys. Last test, but then I really have to go. We can continue tomorrow anyway and see if we can fix it. I mean, it's definitely fixable, right? It's just I think we are on the right path. Something is missing here, though, because if we don't go through this, it's very, very strange that we don't go through this. We have to go through this. I don't get how it's possible that we don't go through this. And I should not add axis input, right? I should just add actor rotation. I don't understand why it's not printed, right? Why this thing is not printed out? Why? Maybe because there is another right movement implementation? No. Because I remember there was a right movement action also on player controller, right? But on player controller, maybe we don't go through that. Maybe we don't go through that. That's strange though. But yeah, possibly we don't go through that. Don't know why. Okay, now we have the print in both cases, right? Now we have the print in both cases. Yes, we go through that, but we use the other method. Yeah. So, yeah, you see that this is using the other method. So it seems that here our rotation mode has been changed. Okay, guys, I need to go, but there is a problem that rotation mode is not set. Is this the client or the server, though? What is this? This is the client. Yeah. So it's because we don't replicate it to the client. Okay, it's because we don't replicate it to the client. It is on the client. Right movement action implementation is on the client. Oh, freaking hell. Okay. We have to do two things. We have to be sure the rotation mode is also set on the client, and at the moment it's not. And the second thing is that here that we are on the client, we need to call another function server side that is doing this. Otherwise it will not work. And we obviously have to skip this, right? Because, yeah. Okay, guys, I think I know what to do, but there is still some work to complete it, right? And so we will do it tomorrow. So for now, we'll say bye-bye. And if you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be nice. And also remember that you can download our game and you can play it. It's available on Windows, Linux, and Mac. The server is up and is waiting for you. Bye. See you.